and welcome to OGTV Main News, coming to you live from our news desk. My name is Bukola Abeokuta. Our top stories. President Buhari warns EFCC against political interference. Federal government calls for collaboration with states to bridge gap in food production. Supreme Court upholds INEC's deregistration of 22 political parties. Ghanaian president, ministers slash salaries by 30% to reduce government spending. Strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. And coming up on the business segment of the news, CBN laments Nigeria's huge external debt. Details of business stories when I return. My name is Adebola Oshomuji.
And on Sport News tonight, Nigerian-Ghana renewed rivalry in Kumasi for a place at 2022 World Cup. This and more to come much later on the news. My name is Moses or Jerumi. Stay with us.
We're starting with reports from Abuja. President Muhammadu Buhari on Friday in Abuja admonished the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) to avoid being used for partisan politics or used to settle personal disputes. The president, who gave the warning at the unveiling of EFCC's standard operating procedures, policies and manuals at the State House, urged the commission to focus on serving the nation and entrenching good governance. He advised leaders and all operatives of the commission to resist the temptation of being influenced by political actors for personal gains. The president commended the leadership of EFCC for securing 2,220 convictions within 1 year and recovering over 152 billion naira and $385 million. President Buhari commended EFCC Chairman Abdulrasheed Bawa for efforts to further institutionalize the commission by developing 26 standard operating procedures and 25 policies and manuals for the departments, units, and staff of the commission. He also appreciated the support of the board, management, and staff of the commission. The president called on other ministries, departments, and agencies, especially law enforcement agencies, to also ensure the standardization of their processes within the extant laws and regulations. He said the government would continue to accord all necessary support to MDAs in order to ensure the sustainability of the initiatives already commenced in actualizing the vision of a corrupt-free society. Now politics. All arrangements for the National Convention of the ruling All Progressives Congress slated for Saturday at the Eagle Square in Abuja are in top gear to ensure a seamless event. This was the submission of some convention committees who spoke with our reporter Yusuf Ganeo while monitoring the level of preparation for the event. His report.
The stage is now set for the National Convention of the ruling party, All Progressives Congress, that will take place on Saturday at the Eagle Square in Abuja. At the venue of the event, organizing committee members were seen putting finishing touches towards ensuring a itch-free convention. Delegations across the 36 states of the Federation, including Ogun State, were also seen arriving to be part of the convention. The entire venue of the event has been cordoned off by security agents, including the Nigerian Police, Department of Security Service, DSS, Nigerian Safety and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, and other outfits who are positioned at strategic locations to provide security of lives and property at the event. Some of the convention subcommittee members assured that all necessary arrangements are in place towards ensuring that the convention is successful.
So far so good. You can see for yourself. Everything is near completion. The stage, the seats, accreditation is going on. Everything is ready. So we don't even anticipate any form of features at this time. Delegates are arriving already. The management of the party, the caretaker committee members are meeting. All the subcommittees are meeting. So we are confident that we are going to have a great event.
They also assured that effective security arrangements to ensure that the convention is devoid of crises have been put in place.
Clearly, the security is giving us all the cooperation that we need. The police, the DSS, and the other sister security, they have done their best, and of course, they are doing their best. You can see the patrol car everywhere, and they always come to meet us to ask us if we have any challenges. And the security committee, of course, for the convention, they are doing very well also.
The environment has been made very conducive. We are set to receive all our guests from across the 36 states of Nigeria. And though it's a long-awaited period, but we thank God that we are here today. And we are hoping that by the special grace of God, the convention will go on smoothly and it shall be successful at the end of the day.
From Eagle Square in Abuja, Yusuf Ganiyu reporting for OGTV News.
Thank you, Ganiyu. Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress has barred political appointees from voting at its national convention holding on Saturday. The statement was titled, "Attention to Political Office Holders who were elected as delegates." The Senate had earlier unanimously rejected Electoral Act Amendment Bill sent by President Muhammadu Buhari. In the rejected bill, the President asked the National Assembly to amend Section 84, Subsection 10 of the Act to allow political appointees to contest and participate in the primaries without resigning. Section 84, Subsection 10 of the Act specifically reads, "No political appointee at any level shall be a voting delegate or be voted for at the convention or congress of any political party for the purpose of the nomination of candidates for any election." The Supreme Court on Friday upheld the deregistration of 22 political parties by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The parties were among the 74 scrapped in 2020 by INEC following the dismal performances in previous elections. Delivering judgment, Justice Ejumbi Eko, in an appeal instituted by INEC against the judgment of the appeal court, voided and set aside the judgment of the Court of Appeal, Abuja Division, which had nullified the deregistration. ECHO held that the appeal court on its own raised the issue of lack of fair hearing in favor of the 22 scrapped parties and arrived at a conclusion without hearing from other parties in the matter. The Apex Court held that the Court of Appeal took out the issue of fair hearing out of the contemplation of the notice of appeal filed by the political parties, but refused to do the needful in order to be fair to others in the matter. Back home now, Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abeokuta has approved the appointment of 8 new permanent secretaries and a new accountant general for the state. A statement by the governor's chief press secretary, Kunle Shomori, said the new appointees will fill the existing vacancies among the rank of permanent secretaries in the state public service. The statement adds that seniority, merit, professionalism, and inclusiveness were considered in the appointment of the permanent secretaries and accountants general for the state in the exercise of the governor's power under the provision of Section 208, subsection C of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. The new permanent secretaries are Mr. Waid Adeshino, Mr. Adetayo Adewale, Mr. Adedayo Oluyemi Shomoye, Mr. Oluwaseyi Shokoya, Dr. Kudus Adegboyega Yusuf, Mr. Adenopo Adegbenga, and Dr. Oladeinde Moshood Kayode. The statement noted that Adebayo Bamidele and Aregbesola Thomas Babatunde will function as the state's new Solicitor General and Accountant General. While congratulating the new appointees, Governor Abiodun urges them to brace up for the challenges of their positions and apply themselves diligently to the building a future together agenda of the administration. Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abeokuta says that the Gateway State, regarded as the industrial hub of the country, is not an overstatement. Governor Abeokuta, who stated this on a special interview program on Arise TV, noted that the location, the human and national resources of the state make us stand clear of others. He said the policies of his administration are deliberately formulated to further grow this comparative advantage.
We have the land. We're about 16,000 square kilometers in size. We border Lagos, we border Benin Republic, we border Oyo State, we border Osun State, and we border Ondo State. Now, we are the closest to the busiest port in Nigeria, to the busiest airport in Nigeria. Lagos is the financial capital of this country. So naturally, you find out that companies that want to set up manufacturing concerns want to be as close as possible to either the airport or the seaport, and also to market. And Ogun State naturally offers that, being the gateway state.
Governor Abeokuta also explained the rationale behind the construction of an agro-cargo airport in the state, which is said as a direct link to its recent trips to some African countries.
So the destination of choice, I needed to begin to look inward on the African continent. And with a partner like the Afrexim Bank, that's also an African developmental bank, we were introduced to a few industrial giants that have their footprints on the continent. And one of them is a company called Arise. Arise is a company that specializes in agro-processing. And Arise has done this in Gabon, in Togo, in Benin Republic, and Ivory Coast. Ogun State today is constructing an airport, an international agro-cargo airport, which we started construction March last year. That airport will be completed December of 2022. That airport, we call it an metropolis. Why? Because metropolis means an airport city.
Yeah.
It's going to have an airport, it's going to have also an industrial estate. The African Financial Development Bank has chosen Ogun State as one of the first 5 beneficiaries of such a scheme in Nigeria. So we're going to have a special agro-processing zone in the airport.
That was the Ogun State Governor, Prince Dapo Abeokuta, during a special interview on Arise TV. Ogun State government has reiterated that the desire of the present administration in the state is to continuously create an enabling environment for learning through the provision of basic amenities in schools across the state. The special advisor to the governor on primary and secondary education, Mrs. Ronke Shoyombo, who affirmed this during the commissioning of renovated 1 block of 3 classrooms at Akeson Community Grammar School, Ikperu, donated by a family, said that the era when education was acquired in crowded and stressful classes was past in the state. Mrs. Shoyombo submitted that education is a vital component of the present administration's 5-point agenda, critical to the attainment of its policy of wealth creation and sustainable economic growth.
We're inviting public-spirited persons and corporate organizations to join efforts with the government in providing quality education in any of our 1,565 public primary schools and 528 public secondary schools.
Earlier in our welcome speech, the Vice Principal of Senior School, Mrs. Victoria Talabi, stated that the renovated classrooms will give succor to the students and help them to do well in their studies, calling on other well-spirited in the society to emulate the gesture. Speaking on behalf of the family, Mr. Mufokbefoluwa Joseph said that the generosity was born out of giving back to society and to commemorate the remembrance of their father, Panuruddin Umidia. And still on education, the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology hereby announces that the 2021-2022 second term examination in all public primary and secondary schools in Ogun State has been scheduled to commence from Monday 28 March to Tuesday 5th April 2022. The State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abeokuta, in a statement said principals and head teachers are expected to make adequate arrangement towards the successful conduct of the exercise, while learners are enjoined to comport themselves well during the examination. He added that the ministry on her part has put in place necessary machinery towards a hitch-free conduct of the examination. Professor Abeokuta wished all learners a successful examination. And still ahead in the news, federal government calls for collaboration with states to bridge gap in food production. We'll bring you the details of these and more after the break. Don't go away. You're still watching OGTV News. Thanks so much for joining us in part 2 of the news. A work is set to commence on the construction of Idiaba-Kajola-Ajebo Road in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. Special Advisor to the State Governor on Works and Infrastructure, Engineer Akim Adeshino, made us known while speaking on the completion of the link bridge on Ijebu-Ekpe Road and other road projects across the state. Matthew Showme has the details.
The last stage of the puzzle of the new economic and industrial hub that will not only change the narrative of these two communities on the fringes of Ogun and Lagos states, but a partnership between the two contiguous states. The Ijebu-Ekpe Road is one of the distinctive factors in the determination of the current administration in Ogun State to leverage on its closeness to the nation's commercial nerve center, Lagos. The completion of the major link bridge that provides easy connection with one of the busiest roads leading to the eastern part of the country marks a landmark achievement. The socio-economic life of the people will in no small measure be affected by this project, which the people have been commending the government for.
We really appreciate the Ogun State Governor for these road projects, which has impacted the economy of this area positively.
We appreciate the Ogun State Governor for this road project.
Special Advisor to Ogun State Governor on Works and Infrastructure, Engineer Akim Adeshino, speaking on the project, said the government is happy to deliver the projects, which he said will redefine the entire landscape of not only the states but the nation at large.
Ekpe Road is completed. The interchange, that is when you are coming from Benin or you are coming from Shagamu, we want to make it as convenient as possible for you to get on Ijebu-Ekpe Road. That is the essence of the interchange, without disturbing the traffic and for safety. The interchange road construction too will be completed in the next 2-3 weeks.
Engineer Adeshina also revealed the plans for the commencement of the construction of Idiaba-Kajola-Ajebo Road.
Under the leadership of President Abeokuta, has put a lot of pressure on the federal government, has talked to the federal government, has let the federal government see the reasons why they should attend to all these federal roads. And I want to say that the effort of President Abeokuta has yielded some results. That road has been awarded. In another 1 or 2 weeks, you will see machinery on the road.
The special advisor urged the people of the state to be patient with the government as different roads in the state are receiving government attention. Matthew Showme, OGTV News.
Ogun State government has reiterated that it has not installed a monarch in Adodo town after the demise of the town's monarch, Oba Abdulateef Akoni. In a statement by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Mr. Kolawole Fagbohun, the state government therefore want one Mufutao Agbogunlori Dosumo to desist from any move to celebrate 3 months on the throne and conferment of chieftaincy titles on some members of the public. The statement further warned members of the town not to associate and get involved in the ceremony, as anyone found associating with the impostor on the ceremony, saying such individual or group of people will be dealt with in accordance with the law of Ogun State. The monthly Ogun State Environmental Sanitation Exercise will hold on Saturday, 26th of March 2022 from 7 to 10 in the morning with no restriction of movement in all the 20 local government areas of the state. Residents are therefore enjoined to use the period of the exercise to clean their home surroundings and drainage channels for onward collection by the private sector participants, PSP, assigned to the areas. All waste collection vehicles and equipment from Ogun State Waste Management Authority, Ogwama, will also be on duty to complement the efforts of the PSP in various communities for proper disposal of waste generated during the exercise. A statement by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Environment, Engineer Razak Ojetola, enjoined all local government councils officials and advocacy groups on environmental sanitation to take charge in their locality to ensure smooth running of the exercise. With the soaring prices of food items, the federal government has called for collaboration with states to bridge gap in food production and implementation of policies. The call was made by the Minister of State for Agriculture and Rural Development, Mustafa Shehuri, at the inaugural meeting of the Community of Practice COP for State Commissioners of Agriculture and Rural Development. Shehuri, in his keynote address, said there is need for the states and other critical stakeholders, including the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to be under one roof to address issues affecting synergy in the agricultural space. He also explained that the aim of the meeting is to brief the commissioners on the concept and justification for establishing the COP, and with their presence as key players in the agricultural sector, it will address strategic priorities and ensure effective policy implementation in the agricultural system. However, in the presentation, Country Director, Action Aid Nigeria, NAOB, called for commitment to food production by collaborating under the auspices of COP in order to foster expected synergy between the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and State Ministries of Agriculture. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has dismissed a suit the 36 states of the Federation filed to stop the federal government from deducting $480 million from their bank account to settle debt in relation to the Paris Club refund. Attorneys General of the states had in the suit challenged federal government's decision to withdraw money from state accounts to settle consultants that facilitated the Paris Club refund. The plaintiffs told the court that federal government had insisted that the fund it intends to withdraw from the account monthly was to service a debt for contracts that were allegedly executed for the states. They told the court that after the said contracts were carefully scrutinized as well as a purported judgment debt the federal government relied on, it was found that the 36 states were not parties to court action that resulted to the judgment debt. The AGS maintained that allowing such withdrawal would cripple the states financially. Besides, they submitted that the purported contracts claimed to have been executed for the states were not known to any of the 36 state governments and were therefore a phony contract, adding that federal government was the only party to the court case that led to the said judgment. Federal government maintained that its decision to deduct the fund to settle some consultants was based on a previous verdict of the court. The 2022 edition of annual Ereno Festival of Idowa Ijebu holds on Saturday, 26 March 2022, starting from 8 in the morning. A statement from the monarch, Obayinusa Adekoya Dagburewe of Idowa, the festival is to hold at the usual venue, Idowa. The statement also implores all sons and daughters of the town, the friends and well-wishers to attend towards making the event a memorable one. It is another swell time for the world to celebrate one of Nigeria's greatest musicians and music legend, evangelist Ebenezer Obey Fabiyi, as he warms up to the League of the Octogenarian. Chief Ebenezer Obey Fabiyi has given much to the music and entertainment industry, where there is no area of life that he has not sung about. Glimpses this week put up a special ahead of the birthday of Doctor of Music, which will come up on April 3rd. Welcome to the business segment of the news. Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Governor Mr. Godwin Emefiele has lamented that Nigeria's huge external debt servicing practice has contributed to the depletion of the nation's external reserves. Emefiele spoke at the opening of the 32nd Seminar for Finance Reporters in Akure, Ondo State. He said the Apex Bank's methods, including the management of financial system liquidity, foreign exchange, market and development financing initiatives, have been able to optimally balance the delicate objectives of the price stability and the real output growth. According to him, in the desire to create jobs and diversify the economy away from crude oil, the Apex Bank had established numerous intervention programs, such as Anchor Borrowers Programs, Commercial Agricultural Credit Scheme, Creative Industry Financing Initiative, CBN Agribusiness, Small and Medium Enterprises Investment Scheme, and the Real Sector Support Facility, among others, with remarkable success in accelerating growth of the economy and reducing poverty across the country. Setting up a business in Nigeria is easier than it used to be, but more efforts need to be channeled towards making business to thrive in Nigeria. This was the submission of entrepreneurs who spoke with OGTV News on the prospect and challenges of setting up small-scale business in Nigeria. Tunde Olaniro reports.
Small and medium-scale businesses are largely viewed as the engine room of any nation's economic growth and are regarded as the justified means that propel development globally. The failure of SMEs to generate sufficient employment, reduce poverty in recent years have paved the way for more challenges.
To set up a business in Nigeria, I think it is becoming easier now, because to register your business with a Corporate Affairs Commission, if it's a business name or limited liability company, it doesn't take much longer like before.
Prospects of setting up small and medium size businesses is the fact that one, it reduces unemployment. Self-reliance is also one of the prospects of setting up a small business. You tend to have people leave the poverty level.
Small and medium-scale businesses in the country are confronted with several challenges, which include environmental and financial factors.
There's pressure on funds, multiple taxation.
So if you have your business plan in place that will guide you, you might have identified the challenges.
You must be producing what you are using in your country. That is where you can be recognized and respected in the scheme of things worldwide. So prospect is far. Challenges, yes, is there. Serious challenges from electricity, that's the number one. If you don't have power, you can't do anything. If you don't have power, power is disturbing almost everything in Nigeria. That the financial institutions are not making things better in Nigeria.
According to respondents, SMEs will thrive if the country limits importation of finished goods from other countries.
Other things that you can see is regular power supply, the means of transportation. Yes, they are there. You have just to solve them.
We have to develop the capacity of our people so that we can begin to use them for our development. For us to fly, we need to turn Nigeria into expatriate joints and immediately develop our capacity in Nigeria, develop these youths, their capacity, and begin to start using them for our production.
They added that government should do more in engaging the youths in small-scale businesses and also facilitate access to loan with low stringent conditions for SMEs in order for the country's economy to thrive. Tunde Olaniro, OGTV News.
The federal government plans to deploy measures to reduce wheat importation into the country. This is coming on the heels of the possible shortage of wheat supply in the country as a result of the current Russia-Ukraine conflict. Government said it anticipated that shortfall of the wheat supply in the country can be bridged by research conducted by the Federal Institute for Industrial Research, Oshodi. The research innovation produced bread of comparable quality with 20% of cassava flour for wheat. Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Ogbonaya Onu, who made this recommendation, said Nigeria can make a substantial amount of savings through the reduction of import. The total value of Nigeria's crude oil stolen between January 2021 and February 2022 is about $3.27 billion, representing 1.361 trillion naira at the official exchange rate of the 416.25 to the dollar. The federal government declared on Thursday the international oil companies and their counterparts in Nigeria said the massive oil theft across the country currently posed a threat to not just their existence, but to the Nigerian economy. The federal government, through its Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, met with the oil producers trade section as well as the Independent Petroleum Producers Group in Abuja at a stakeholders engagement on crude oil theft. And that was business news. Back to Bukola for the rest of our news.
Thanks so much, Bola. Now foreign news. Ghanaian President Nana Akufo-Addo and his ministers have cut the salaries by 30% on the measures to reduce spending as the country struggles with higher fuel costs from the Ukraine crisis. And President Joe Biden has arrived in Poland to discuss humanitarian efforts to help Ukraine and also met with the U.S. troops of the 82nd Airborne Division. For more on the world today, let's join Odunayo Uriyeni.